Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling start to Serenity Sunday. Wow, what a morning it has been. Oh my gosh. We got up, showered, dressed, went for our walk and everything, came back, ran out of time to do the live before day 2 of Networking Riches. And I have to tell you, day 2 of Networking Riches, I even had during one of the breakthrough zones, and you know how much I love breakthrough zones. There was just a massive breakthrough zone going on, and all of a sudden I got hit in the face, slapped around a little bit as like, you silly person. Well, not really silly person, I thought, but you crazy person. You are missing out on this. And I was like, oh, crap, I am. Wow. So I had a huge, even though the person that was in the breakthrough zone had that light bulb moment, I also had a massive light bulb moment. And I was like, oh my gosh. So today has been sort of like one of those revelation days so far. One of the reasons we didn't get to do the live was because Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic, the whole live thing was starting at 7:30 this morning. I thought, oh, good, they're going to be taking off. Yeah, no. They didn't take off till like after 8 o'clock, after Networking Riches had already started. I actually missed the part of the plane taking off with the rocket portion attached. But caught most of it, caught the piece where the separation took place and they were able to go up into orbit. I had it. Casey, if you are watching this, I am so sorry. I was paying attention, but my phone was sitting here with the YouTube channel up, so that I had the sound off because I was listening to what was going on in Networking Riches, but I was watching what was happening on the screen with the flight and everything, watching all the live feeds from outside the spacecraft, inside the spacecraft where the passengers were all sitting, and then coming down and touching down again. And so I apologize for not being 100% present this morning when we first got started, but there was a historic moment taking place. So my question to you is, what did you think of the flight? Did you watch the launch and the flight and everything else of Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic? Did you watch, is it Galactic or Galactica? Galactic, I think it is, isn't it? I can't remember what I typed in the comments. But did you watch it today? What are your thoughts about that whole process? I mean, this is like you're watching the birth of commercial space flight. And one of the things we talked about during one of the breaks today was, well, when was the first commercial flight? So as in a plane. So I went and looked it up, and the first commercial flight was the 1st of January, 1914 was the first commercial flight. And it went from St. Petersburg, between St. Petersburg and Tampa in Florida. The first flight, now this is going to be very debatable with a lot of people, and I totally understand it. This has been going on for over a century, this debate. But if you are a New Zealander, and there are people actually here in America who believe that this is the correct one, but I'm not getting into a debate. This is not a debate. The 31st of March 1902 was when Richard Pearce flew in New Zealand. And the Wright brothers did their flight on the 17th of December 1903, 18 months later. So there is some debate on that. But even if you look at that, it's 1902/1903 when the first flight was made. The first commercial flight was 11 to 12 years later. The space program got into full gear in the early 60s. We were landing on the moon in 1969, which is coming up for their anniversary on the 20th of July. And here we are on the 11th of July, seeing a spacecraft go up just for a leisure flight, I guess. And it's basically starting the birth of the commercial space travel. So, there's all this history that's come along all this time. It's just like, wow. But here's what I want you to do. Think about this. You're on the point of a historic moment that just took place, which next year they said if this flight went well, next year they're going to be starting on the actual commercial flights next year, I believe it is. So they've got the other 6 months to go through all the data and all their thing, do probably another couple of test flights and everything else, and do whatever certifications and other things they have to register for all that, stuff to make us safe. And then next year they're going to start the commercial flights. So think of this. journal your experience about today, whether you put it on video, whether you write it, get your thoughts down on it today, because in 100 years' time, your great-great-grandchildren could be looking back at this and going, oh, my grandparents witnessed that. They watched it live. Wow. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't think I have any journals or anything from my great-great-grandparents for stuff that they saw during their lifetime. I mean, that's why I'm so passionate about genealogy and recording things, because so much gets lost when a loved one passes. Whether they're young, whether they're old, it doesn't matter. Whether they're in their 20s or if they're in their 90s or if they're in their hundreds, it doesn't matter. When they pass, all that knowledge, all that stuff that they've seen, all the reactions that they had to certain events that took place is gone, unless it is recorded. So this is why it's so important to put down on paper, on video, whatever, what your thoughts were about historical moments like this one today. Did you watch it? What did you think? Did you watch the whole flight? Did you watch just the takeoff? Did you watch the separation? Did you watch them going into orbit? Did you watch their entire flight? Did you watch them land? Did you watch the whole thing, or just portions of it? What were you feeling at that point in time? What was it like to watch it? Where were you when that happened? Where were you watching? I was sitting here, and it was on my phone. I'm attending Networking Riches Day 2, and I'm watching and I'm keeping an eye on what's going on the screen, but I'm also paying attention to what's going on down here on the thing. And to see them have a safe landing was like, yes, another step forward. But you think of somebody who is 100 years old, they still have all of their memories and everything about them, and nobody is recording what they have been through during their life. Think about what's happened in the last 100 years. Okay, go back. So in the last 106 years, since 1914, actually 107 years, because we're in 2021. And, in the last 107 years since the first commercial flight, right up to today, think of all the stuff that's happened during that time. 1914, weren't we at war at that point? Wasn't there a world war going on at that point? There was a world war going on at that point. 1st of January 1914, there was a world war going on, and they managed to do the first commercial flight during that time. And then a few years later, we had the Depression come along. We had the Second World War. Just think of everything that's happened during that time. We've had, as far as England and the Commonwealth go, they had a king pass away, they had a king abdicate, they had another king pass away, and we're still on the same queen. And she's been in, next year is her 70th. Yes, her 7th. Next year on the 6th of February 2022 will be her 70th anniversary of becoming the queen. And for her, it's sort of like a bittersweet moment, because it's the same day her father passed away. So it's going to be 70 years since her father passed away, and she came to the throne at the age of 25. Just think of that long historic span as well. I mean, oh my gosh, there's just so much that has happened. Look at technology, where we've come with technology. We went from the start of telephones, where you hold the stalk and speak into, have the thing at your ear here, and you'd hang on to the stalk here and talk into this piece and listen with this piece, to carrying phones around with us that take photos that we can get information off. Whereas before, if we wanted to get in contact with, you watch all the old black and white movies. They didn't have cell phones in those movies, and yet they managed to communicate very well. They walked everywhere. The start of cars, the automobile industry, and all the start of that process was starting to take place. And look at the cars now. We had the ones where you had to crank the engine to get it started, to the ones where you turn a key, to now where you've got ones that are running off electricity. They don't even need batteries. It's just, well, they do need batteries because you charge the batteries. But think about what has happened in the last 107 years since that first commercial flight took place. That is just massive. Anyway, so as you can tell, I'm kind of excited today. Well, I'm excited because of this historic moment that took place today. I'm excited because I had a major breakthrough in Networking Riches today. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. I think some people got blown out of the water by one of the breakthrough zones. It was just incredible. But today is all about kicking back and relaxing. I can see there's going to be a lot of conversations going on around the world today about this flight that took place, because some families like to sit down together at dinner and discuss what happened during the day, what events took place today. So there's going to be a lot of conversations about that going on around the place, and some people will be for it, some people will be against it. There'll be some great debates going on. So I totally get that. But here's one thing that I read, one of Richard Branson's book, and his thing was just say yes and figure it out. Say yes, then figure it out. But one of the things that got me is the reason that he chose the company name Virgin was because him and his team would come in with zero experience in the industry they were going into. And they would just go in and do it their own way. Virgin Records. What else have we got? Virgin Cruises. He's got the cruise ship out there. He's got a second one launching next year. I think it's next year the second one comes out. But he knew nothing about cruising. But he wanted a cruise ship, and this is how he wanted it, and that's what he got. It's just interesting seeing the adventure stuff that he has done over his lifetime, to go from where he started to where he is today. What a story. Oh my gosh. They even had a video of him like a month or two ago writing letters to his grandchildren, so that if anything, so he has those letters to be passed on to his grandchildren when he passes, but it was just a just in case letter. And I was like, wow, that is so cool. To let people know what was going through your mind, where you were at, and you had this big flight coming up. So there's just there was a lot of thoughts to do with genealogy coming in through that, and historic moments, and tying your family to that historic moment for generations to come. Think back to 1st of January 1914 when they had the first commercial flight. Who were the passengers on there? Are they in your family tree? Do you have any of your relations that were flying today in the spaceship? Because now you can tie that to, you can pass that story on down through generations. So there's all this stuff. Do you descend from the Wright brothers? Do you descend from Richard Pierce? I mean, this debate's been going on for years. So there's just so much. And yes, I know the debate will keep going for probably another 100, 200 years. I don't know. I'm not going to be around at that point. And it is what it is. It's one of those things where they can't exactly, I don't know. There's questions. There's a lot of questions in there. I don't know all the details. I wasn't there. But it's just been, for me, as a genealogist, this is just sort of like this is one of these days that has to be flagged, and who was involved in this day, and can people tie their relations, is there enough information out there that people in years to come can tie back to this? Is there information that the families and that the people involved with this project have journaled down their journey in this project to leave for future generations? It's just such a, I must say, Richard Branson has done some crazy things, but the lessons he has learned, and it's all about giving it a go, just saying yes and doing it. Just say yes and do it, just like that. But anyway, I'm off. I've got to go and let's see. Since we haven't had time to do our mystery drive this morning, which we usually do on a Sunday, we're going to go for a short mystery drive. I said to Sophie, we're going to go by lunch today. Not breakfast, we're going to go by lunch today. So we're going to go figure that out. We're going to go for a little drive around. She likes her Sunday drives. She has the windows down, even though it's 100 and something degrees outside, she wants the windows down at the back, and she just sits there. Her eyes closed and her nose towards the window as the wind's coming through the screens. But then when she wants to really get out there and sniff, she pushes her nose into the screen as much as she can, so she can stretch it out as much as possible to get as much smell in her nose. And you can hear her from the front seat as she's drawing in breaths through her nose. It's absolutely hilarious to hear. But yeah, we're going to go for just a short drive. Then I've got to come back, and there's a couple of things I need to do from Networking Riches today. And then after that, I'm going to watch. I have to do laundry today. So then when we get back from our drive, it'll be do the stuff I need to do for Networking Riches. Then I'm going to go do laundry, and then we're going to sit down and watch The Hobbit. At least that's the plan. We will see what happens. So what are you doing to relax today? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know if you watched any part of the flight live and what your thoughts were about it. If you watched the recorded videos of the flight and the landing and everything else, because you weren't able to watch it live at the time. What were your thoughts about it as well? And let us know whether you were on replay or watching live and what your thoughts were about it. So as far as networking riches go today, it was the bomb. It was the bomb. Casey truly delivered, and the 2 people we had in the breakthrough zone today, incredible sessions. I mean, one of them caused me to have a breakthrough. So, and I'm not talking about it just now. I've got to work it out first and get around a few little restrictions I have in that department. But anyway, so go out, have a super fantastic sparkling day. And again, if you want to enter the free drawing that's coming across the screen now, just go to havetowin.com and enter into the free drawing, and you'll also receive a copy of Family Tree Decoded. Have a super fantastic sparkling Serenity Sunday. It's all about rest and relaxation today, connecting with family, friends, going for Mystery Sunday drives. Are you doing a Mystery Sunday drive today? Sunday Mystery Drive? I'm going to go do mine now. It's not going to be, mine's going to be more with purpose. Go out, get lunch, come back, do my little bit of work I have to do, and then we'll see what happens from there. But anyway, go have a super fantastic sparkling Sunday and Serenity Sunday, and we will catch you back here at 6 o'clock Pacific time this evening. Hey, konera.